Good afternoon, you guys. I just wanted to come on here and just pretty much, I guess, have maybe a hair 101 with you, just to go over some things. Just because going forward, I just want people to know prior to buying virgin hair. So as you can see, I have this Brazilian body wave in, and I've had it in for exactly 4 weeks and 3 days. So as you can see, my ends are ombre. Okay. Now, I don't know, maybe you guys feel a little wary about it because I'm the seller, but I try to be truthful as possible. Like, I don't cut corners. I let you guys know exactly what goes on with this hair. Now, I just want to inform people, especially beginners that are just now starting to buy virgin hair, what they're getting themselves into. So before even purchasing, I would rather you guys just do your research. Do it completely. Watch tons of YouTube, Google, do whatever it is that's necessary so you can be knowledgeable. Because I realize, lack of knowledge will cause you to waste money. Now, necessarily, sometimes there are such things as bad batches of hair. I strongly believe that. I've dealt with it even with beauty supply store hair. It exists. I understand that. But you have to understand that if you're going to go through the process of coloring the hair, your work is going to be 5 times more. Just because, as you know, with color-treated hair, not even just virgin hair, even your own hair, that's going to require more work because now the hair is drier because it requires more moisture. So you have to deep condition it. You have to seal your hair. Like with this, I co-wash and I deep condition. Co-washing is not a form of deep conditioning to me. It's an extra step. And on top of that, I seal my ends because, again, the ends are dyed. I use, some type of oil to seal the ends in. I make sure to replenish the hair every single day, whether I'm spraying it with water or, again, with oil. Now, I haven't put heat on this hair. Even though I tried to curl and wand it, it didn't work. I haven't technically put heat on this hair, I guess, except for when I was diffusing it, but I put it on a cool setting so it wasn't even really heat. But you have to understand that if you have color treated hair and you're straightening the hair and you're curling the hair, that's going to make the hair even more dry. So you have to put even more work on top of that because you have color treated hair and you're using heat. So keep in mind that with dry hair will lead to the matting up, because it's going to interlock with each other. So if you're not deep conditioning the hair every week, maybe even every 3 to 4 days, just depends. I personally only deep condition it once a week. I mean, it's just the ends, but still, I deep condition my hair every week. Even when I don't have color-treated hair, I deep condition it every week. Now, I realize that people tend to lean on the fact that, oh, it's virgin hair, it shouldn't be doing this. Well, why wouldn't it? Because once upon a time, this was on someone's head. If someone's hair is not being properly taken care of, it's not going to result in any good way. Like, just keep that in mind. You can't keep leaning on the fact that it's virgin hair. Yes, it's virgin hair, which means it should last longer than the average beauty supply store hair. But you have to keep in mind that it's not just going to last on its own by itself. You have to take care of it yourself. Like, you have to put in the work. If you're not willing to put in the work, I wouldn't dye the hair. I wouldn't, because it's definitely a lot more work. Now, I'm being truthful when I say this. The ends gets pretty dry. It does. It's very dry because it's color treated. But I also realize once I deep condition the hair, it's back to life. It's not dry, it's not matting up, nothing like that, because I detangle every week. I detangle my hair actually every day with the paddle brush, as I showed you guys before. When I spray it down, I always detangle from the bottom up, especially up under here. Like the nape is always tangling. Not this hair, but in general. Curly hair, body wave hair. If you don't detangle under hair, because it's rubbing against your head, you could be sweating. It could be a lot of things as to why it's matting up. It's not like because it's virgin hair, it shouldn't be matting up. It will mat up if you don't do it correctly. Now, I'm not saying that, I don't give out I give out the best advice that I can when it comes to virgin hair or just hair period. Like, even if you're just buying regular store hair, like, you still should take care of it. Just because it's cheaper, it doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of it. But I just want people to understand that you can't lean on the fact that because it's virgin hair, if you yourself individually is not taking care of it properly, or maybe you think you're taking care of it properly, but if you're not, you have to do your research. And what I mean by that is not every conditioner is going to respond well with the hair. Just because it's conditioner doesn't mean anything. Some conditioners can actually dry out the hair. And when I say hair, I don't mean just weave. I mean even your own hair. You have to, even with your own hair, go through trial and error and figure out which products works best for you. You got to do the same thing with your weave. If you're trying a conditioner and you're realizing that after you condition it, it still doesn't feel replenished, it's matting up, you need to switch conditioners. Point blank. That's just obvious to me. Like I said, I personally like Hello Hydration, but I've used other conditioners as well, and I realized depending on the origin of the hair responds better with certain conditioners. I have like God knows how many conditioners in my room, but I go through them and I realize which one of my hair likes what. So you can't just rely on one conditioner. I always tell people you have to go through different products to find out what works best for you. Whatever you do to your natural hair, you should do to your virgin hair, your beauty supply store hair. Because even when I was buying beauty supply store hair, I washed it. I did. And it responded better every time I co-washed it. So I don't want it to be where it must be the seller's fault. It must be the company's fault. It's not always the company's fault. Sometimes it's the individual that's not properly taking care of it. So just because you're co-washing it doesn't mean that's not causing the problem. Because again, conditions can dry out the hair if you're not figuring out what your hair likes. I realize that this hair likes to be deep conditioned. And I always recommend that silicone mix. It works best. I've tried it on many versions of hair and it tends to always be a good result. But to each their own. But you can't always revolve around pointing the finger at the company. Granted, there are some companies that do sell bad batches and they should just own up to it. But truthfully, I've had this hair in for as long as I have, and I've been walking through the process with you guys via YouTube, via Instagram, just to show you like how it responds, how it looks when it's dry, how it looks when it's wet, when it's flexi-rotted, when it's diffused, when it air dries. Like, I go through those process on purpose so that you guys can see exactly what is going on. Sorry for the background noise. It's a truck going by. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that at you guys because, I actually do care about my customers. I actually do want you guys to be happy, like, truthfully. And I would not put out a product where I felt like it was doing bad. If you guys are complaining about something all the time, I will take it off the market and I will research and do something further. Like, I won't keep selling hair if everyone's, not happy about it. But I haven't had really any complaints, up until recently with this hair. But I just want to remind you guys, sorry about that. So yeah, I just want to remind you guys that you have to do the work. It will mat up. Virgin hair mats up. It will mat up. It will be damaged if you don't take care of it properly. Again, it doesn't matter because it's virgin. You have to keep in mind that this was on someone's head. Someone's natural hair can be damaged if they don't take care of their own hair. So what makes it any different because it's on a weft? There is no difference. It's actually more work because it's on a weft. It's not growing out of someone's scalp, okay? So you have to actually put the moisture back in. So if you're going to color treat the hair, and on top of that, heat, keep in mind that that's just going to make it even more dry. You may have to do more work compared to someone that doesn't dye the hair. You have to moisturize every day. Spray it down with water. But of course, if you're straightening it, you're not going to be able to water it down. So when you straighten the hair, find a lightweight oil. Even that oil I showed you guys before by Organics, that macadamia oil. I personally like it. Like I said, go through trial and error and figure out what works best for you. But when you're straightening the hair and it's color treated, you're looking for it to be extremely dry. Just because it's virgin hair doesn't mean anything. It's going to be extremely dry. So you need to make sure that you're doubling up on your moisture in terms of an oil, some type of serum that's not heavy on the hair if you're planning on straightening it and keeping it in for a while. But for people that keeps it in its natural state, it's a lot easier because you can spray it, and water is a type of moisture. You can seal it with oil, a lightweight oil. So I just find that, you know, when you buy virgin hair and you install it and it damages within a week, it may not necessarily be the supplier. I'm not saying that because I sell the hair. I'm saying that because even before I started selling, I've gone through YouTube videos, I've gone through personal experiences, so I understand on how the whole process works. So please don't always be so quick to point the finger at the seller, at the company. You have to keep in mind that it could be yourself. Now, a lot of times when people want to come to the company, they don't always tell the story. They don't want to tell the exact details of what they did. But you have to understand that I'm very, welcoming when it comes to giving out advice, offering maybe a small discount. But it's just one of those things where I know this hair is good. I know this hair is great, actually. So for it to just, go through a certain process and then it just does a complete 180 seems a little odd to me. But as you can see, this was flexi rodded yesterday. This is just the wave pattern after the flexi rods had dropped, in case you guys were wondering how I got this look. And I just still have my satin headband on. So I just wanted to throw out that little 101 with you guys just because, I'm starting to see, more of what a situation can occur. And I'm not pointing the finger at no one either. I'm just informing you in case you were unaware. Please don't buy the virgin hair if you're not willing to put the work in. That's all I'm going to say. I would recommend, something a little less expensive so that doesn't require as much work. If you're willing to put in the work, then go for it. If you're going to dye the hair, please keep it, moisturized. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, I'm not lying to you guys. The ends get very dry. Throughout the week, I moisturize it, though, and it just bounces right back. Like, I can't stress that enough, but, if the person's not willing to put in the work, I wouldn't suggest buying the hair. I'm not here just to take your money, because it's not worth it to me. If I have an unsatisfied customer, it saddens me. So I would rather you do us both a favor. Either know what you're buying, or just, try something different that's less expensive. But this video's long. Sorry about that, it's the phone. Sorry about it being so long. I just really wanted to let people know that you can't rely on the fact that it's virgin hair. Like, that means a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that it's not magic. It's not magic hair. It's never going to damage. There's no such thing. All hair can mat. Virgin, beauty supply store, even your own natural hair. Anything can mat up. Anything can be damaged. All hair dries out. It's all about what you put in terms of the effort of the moisturization you put in the hair. It's all about you guys. And all I'm saying is that, ask me all the questions that you want before purchasing. I welcome all the questions. I'm not hesitant at all. Via email, via Instagram, whatever the case may be, I will answer truthfully. Like, I'm not just about taking your money. If you don't purchase, that's fine. That's fine. But, if you do, I am guaranteed that you're going to be happy with this. Like, especially this Brazilian body wave. Like, I can't stress enough. See the ends? Like, I don't know if it looks dry to you. It's not that dry. It feels dry. It doesn't really look dry, but it feels. But, it's been, what's today, Friday? I washed it last Thursday. So I'm going to actually co-wash and deep condition either today or tomorrow. But for the time being, I always spray it down. I always make sure to detangle under here. It's work. It is. But I love it because I'm willing to put the work in. and even with tight curly hair, that requires even more work. And if you're dyeing curly hair, even more work. Okay? If you're going to straighten that hair, another set of work. But I just wanted to remind you guys that it's not always the company, you know. And a lot of times, some people are not going to always own up to, okay, it was my fault. I didn't do this. I didn't realize it was drying out the hair even more because I dyed it. I put heat on it. Like, whatever the case may be. But I just realized that, you know, it is going to dry out the hair. Even with your natural hair, it dries out your hair. You have to double up on your moisture. So, sometimes I just feel like I need to inform my customers on what they're getting themselves into before they actually purchase. Because, again, I'm all for it if you know what you're doing. If you don't, I understand that as well. If you're willing to take the risk, go for it. All right. I think this video has gone on long enough. I hope you guys enjoy your day. I know I will. I'm at home, called out. No big deal. It's Friday. You know, comments, messages, feedback. I want it all. Bad ones, good ones. Bring it. I'm fine with that. So, all right. Goodbye.